This is Silverstone. Although it's quiet now, come the Grand Prix, the skies overhead will be swarming with helicopters.
On the day, this is the world's busiest controlled airport.
Race day will see an incredible 4,000 helicopter movements.
It exceeds Heathrow and everything by about fivefold. I mean, the helicopter movements are astounding.
9,000 passengers will be ferried in and out.
There will be helicopters arriving on the North Pad, approximately 60 to 70 every 15 minutes.
But it's not just Silverstone that's transformed for race day. Our story starts deep in a sleepy corner of the Buckinghamshire countryside. Yes, it's a pub, and for 364 days of the year, it's just a pub. But for one day, it's a licensed airfield. One of 17 satellite airfields set up for today's massive operation is here at Beachhampton, a temporary home for the fleet run by Stephen Bath.
This is the farmer's field. It's normally just got sheep in it, but for one day I pay him a very large amount of money and he lets me use it for helicopters, yeah.
7 Jet Rangers and 1 Long Ranger work continuously throughout the morning and evening, so the fuel bowser is essential. So why are people prepared to pay £300 each to fly into the Grand Prix?
Well, it's now 8:30 in the morning and the traffic jam queues will be about 5 or 6 miles long already and they'll be about 8 miles long by 9:30. And for the young man with a girlfriend in a high-performance car, which does not run well at 2 miles an hour, he will say, next year I will pay anything to get out of the jam.
What happened the last time you went?
Drove in.
And?
Painful. Very, lot of time to get in.
Last time I came, I drove and it was a nightmare. It was an absolute nightmare. It took so long. So, I mean, helicopter is the way to get in.
Among the fleet at Beachhampton is commercial pilot and the owner of his own Jet Ranger, John Poole. And you've sort of done it before, obviously.
Yes, I have. I've done it for about 5 years now. First year was a bit nerve-wracking.
But you look forward to it, what, as a test of your piloting?
Well, yes, yeah, I mean, it is. Well, it's pretty exciting to see so many helicopters around, really, so, yeah, it's pretty good. And it just gets more and more exciting the nearer you get to the circuit.
At the peak of the morning's action, it was my turn to fly. What lay ahead promised to be quite an experience. John had warned me that the RT en route would become a real earful.
10 degrees, 10 knots. Cav OK. QNH 1023. Northern heliport users are reminded that the hold is left hand for West Point.
Well, the Northern Pad is primarily light helicopters, things like Jet Rangers, Squirrels, Augusta 109s, who are normally only carrying 4 to, at the most, 7 passengers. Whereas on the Southern Pad, they're the heavy helicopters. They will be carrying up to 28 passengers.
Purple 02, roger. All aircraft in the hold, remain in the hold, stop transmitting, I'll call you when I can get you in. Grey 4, join approved, report West Point. Yellow 4, join approved, report West Point. Yellow 4.
Turnaround times on the Northern Pad, a helicopter will be turned round in 45 seconds. That's arrival, passengers off, and doors closed, spot turn, and ready to lift.
White 6 final. White 6 goes against 9.
Well, here it is, the busiest heliport in the world.
Having landed, I couldn't believe what was following me in. I have to tell you, flying in, I felt a bit like a bee going back to a nest in a swarm. Helicopters everywhere. The heart of the Silverstone operation is here in air traffic control. With so many movements, It's quicker to call helicopters by a colour and number call sign rather than their usual full registration. So, coloured blocks replace the familiar flight strips for the 6 controllers and their assistants.
Go down to the bottom by Neptune.
A veteran of the system is Air Traffic Control's Peter Rover.
Air traffic has to be a highly disciplined organisation, possibly more so than piloting. This year, the race has been brought forward an hour, which gives us an hour's more daylight to fly people out. The temptation is to fly more people in the morning, but if there was an interruption, a lot of people might get stuck here when darkness overtook them.
Of course, there was the feared delay following Michael Schumacher's dramatic accident, but everybody did get home, and the successful reputation of Silverstone Airport remained intact.
Astonishing to see so many aircraft in the air at one time. But the helicopter operation at Silverstone is now so large. Quite a decent queue there just to fly out. Still, it's a whole lot better than going by road.